Hey guys, how's it going? This is Brendan from the DePaul Internet Literacy Initiative here with another instance of fake news that we on the team wanted to break down and share with you to get some of those skills on how to nail down fake news. So without further ado, let's get started. This article actually came across my Facebook today. Not this article, but this little blip. Looks a little bit like a PR press release. It says that the Clinton Foundation cargo ship, or a Clinton Foundation cargo ship, raided at Port of Baltimore reveals sick secret. Alright, so just time to spare you reading this article, basically it goes on to say that a Clinton Foundation ship had about 500 illegal immigrants stowed on board. Alright, this made big enough news that it was actually addressed by PunditFact, which is a offshoot of PolitiFact, a good friend of ours, but we'll get to that in a second. So this is a story that came across, and one of my friends shared it on Facebook thinking that it was real. What can we learn from this? How can we identify this as fake news? Well, step number one, looking at this, would be looking for an author. Who wrote this article? Whose name is attached to it, and whose credibility is on the line when you're talking about stories like this? The answer is no one. This is a very blank, generic website. It's hard to see anything of substance. It seems very plain, but there's no author. That's important. So that's not a good sign. It's not a great sign. Usually, the only sites that can get away with not having an author are pretty well established. Things like Pew Research, other well-known think tanks. So that's one step in the wrong direction. Let's see how about the website? Daily USA Today, or Daily USA Update. Nothing too alarming about that, right? Let's go to the website. Looks like a blog. Looks fairly news-like. There's a lot going on here. We have nice pictures, capitalized headlines, a couple warning signs off the bat. One, all these stories are uncategorized, which is a little peculiar. I'm not sure what to take away from that, but it's not the most efficient or polished operation. A lot of caps, a lot of exclamation points, and words that don't need to be capitalized. If you know anything about AP style, you know that words like and even have don't need to be capitalized in titles. So this clearly isn't the most professional news organization, if it is a news organization. But as we go all the way to the bottom, we can see something a little peculiar way down here in the corner, where it says Theme by My Theme Shop. No news source that I would ever consider credible would ever take a WordPress theme, if that makes sense, and blazon it so obviously on the bottom. That's not a great sign. I mean, this is probably a pretty small operation, not a huge budget, and not entirely reputable. But at the same time, we can see that they have 400,000 Facebook likes. So that's a little concerning, but we can go from here. Now, the third step, I actually have a checklist right here. Is there an author is number one, which we have established there is no author. Step number two is who published the story. Looks like a small blog, not much to comment on. But number three, who does this information affect? Now that's an interesting question, and there's a lot of different answers to that with any given story. But in particular, who is the story about? None other than Hillary Clinton and her foundation. And so with that, I think it's important to ask ourselves what the Clintons have to lose from this story. And it sounds like this would be a major international outcry if it was in fact true. But because we've already kind of scratched them off based on our answers for questions 1 and 2, we can see that this story probably isn't true. And in fact, this story made enough, was popular enough in social media that PunditFact, which is a part of PolitiFact, specifically targeting fake news, they did an entire story on it just a few days ago, talking about how, no, this did not happen. And they've released a succinct breakdown as to why it's fake, sort of how the story came to be, why it was flagged by Facebook users. And that's important, and that's actually important to consider, noticing that this article was actually pointed out by Facebook users and picked up by the administrative front of Facebook using their new tools to mark fake news. So that's a really great thing to see. I'm really excited to see what Facebook does in the future for this. This is just one example of a story that did get a lot of traction on social media by people who might not have been as media literate as you are by watching this video. Thanks so much for listening. We will see you on the other side. Please be sure to check out the rest of our videos, and thank you for listening.